big change from lots of children, of which many died, to few children, of which almost all survived.
Religious psychosis.
So now we
Nobody
have
sees it.
the map of the
Brain.
world with the population.
The brain creates
We've talked
children.
in the past about
He orders the penis Christ to actually
America, but the rise
have orgasm and all that and create.
Show us that picture.
But
What has happened?
religious psychosis says, no, reproduce.
Thing in Europe.
And that's against science, because
It has also almost
education is controlled by religious psychosis in the United States. Churches all over the place. See? That's the problem. It's the elephant nobody sees.
Up to mid-century, United Nations.
Friends, this is Calpun Piso, with more facts, and very appalling facts, revealing to you the schizophrenia-like disorder, HIV of the brain, that nobody seems to see, that actually infects, rapes the brain of children, which is despicable. And thanks to technology, science created by atheists, in other words, sane, brains, rational thinking scientists, created by them, of course, then we can actually see this. This is the internet, the computers, and all that. This practices, Christ psychosis, religious psychosis practices, been going on for over 1,500 years. But nobody had cameras in those times to actually record them. Today we do. And still, Christianity infected America do not see it. They do not see the danger that is some begot belief. I for FIBA, imaginary friend or foe, irrational belief, acceptance at the core of all neurological disorders like schizophrenia et al. And all religious beliefs. They worry about children being molested, their bodies, sexually. But the most dangerous thing is raping and molesting their brains. And they do that in all churches in the United States of America. They are free to rape children's brains because they call it religion psychosis. Here's a this is a perfect example here. Now notice that this is extremely, extremely dangerous. And I do not see American atheists, which to me is a worthless organization, worthless. I don't see neuroscientists in America. I do not see psychologists. And I do not see the government of the United States. I do not see them protesting this. This is a crime. This is absolutely crime. That is worse than what ISIS is doing. Worse. ISIS cuts the head of children. They burn people alive, but that's the end of it. But this psychosis screwed up their lives. They turn them into psychopaths. These are the people that are science deniers. They grow up to become senators of the country, become doctors, like many doctors like Francis Collins and all these people, Ben Carson, supposedly a neurologist. Why they give this Christ psychotic infected imbecile, his father is a Baptist minister? Why they give him a degree in neurology when the guy is a psychopath? His brain is screwed up. And where do they get this psychosis from? Simple. Churches. Churches. It's like an HIV of the brain, and kids that are not able to fend off the dopamine-inducing fairy tales that feel good. Those that cannot fend off those delusions those are the religious people. And it can be in the United States Christ psychosis, but everywhere in the world you have Islam psychosis, Hindu psychosis, Judaism psychosis, and all the nuts running around loose. In England, the head of the church is the Queen. But this is not something that just happened. This psychosis has been infecting humanity for thousands of years. And since the 4th century, this Christ psychosis, the advent of Christ psychosis with many different strains, and Judaism psychosis, which everything comes from the Roman Empire religion. But there were many in those days. And thanks to Constantine, one was formed, and of course there were many divisions, and then you have Judaism, Islam, and the rest of it nonsense, and they're all the sects. But that is psychosis of the brain. This is what happens. And people don't seem to see this. And they turn him into psychopath. Look at the government of the United States. You have senators that believe in a zombie that resurrects and saved with blood. These kids, they grow up to become judges, governors, to fly planes, to be dentists, to be psychologists, to be neurologists. You see, to be teachers. And this is the problem in this country. And atheists are blind to this fact. Atheists, intellectuals, and scientists. You have Dr. Krauss, brilliant man, as you can see here.
Think about Ted Cruz as chair of the Senate Commerce, Science, and Transportation Committee recently elected or put in charge to be in charge of space, science, and competitiveness.
Well, I think it's just as bad as Marco Rubio being in charge of the climate denier being in charge of environment and atmosphere. I mean, it's just it's the lunatics guarding the asylum, I suppose. But it's
exactly.
It's so sad that in this modern world where these issues are so non-controversial, and where I saw
all of this Christ psychosis. And Dr. Krauss doesn't see Christians as schizophrenics.
Being interested, Scott Walker is the governor of Wisconsin, who's another potential presidential candidate from that ridiculous party, and
yeah, exactly.
Incredible,
isn't it? Lunatics in the United States.
And he said, I'm gonna have to punt on that question. And the guy I was interviewing him, who was a right-wing think tank, I think, said, we just don't understand that. If you ask any British politician that question, they go, of course, there's no issue. And so it is so unfortunate that in this country, which is still the leading technological power in the world, that we have a government made up of people who are so either out of touch with reality or...
Because religion is a form of schizophrenia, it's organized schizophrenia. They are composed of mythologies accepted as reality. Ted Cruz is a Christ psychotic.
Interested.
There isn't.
Self-interest.
Churches.
They lie about what they believe.
Christ psychosis.
In order to con people into voting for them.
Lawrence doesn't see that. A lot of people don't see it.
To go along with that point, I was the most disingenuous politicians that I've ever witnessed. And
Well,
he comes off as a slimy fuck.
I did, by the way.
No, disingenuous, a Christ psychotic,
One
a
of my
schizophrenic
most amazing
imbecile.
selfies that anyone ever asked. I get asked to do a lot of selfies with people, but I don't know if you look like you're nodding. You probably saw my one. Rick Perry came up and asked for a selfie with me when he.
I seen that. Yep.
I got my logical thinking from the character Spock. I've been saying that Christianity is a mental illness since 1967. How about that?
And it was one of the most surreal moments I think I've ever had when with that selfie. But so I'm looking forward to the Rick Perry show. I love when all these people run for president because it's so hysterical.
It is. It's entertaining, ain't it?
Very entertaining, laughable.
Set of candidates that basically destroy the credibility of the party before they eventually choose the one I know they're going to choose.
They're Christians. What do you expect?
Yeah, I just donated 50
Psychotic.
to Sarah Palin's Patreon.
Psychotic. See?
Well, thank you.
Intelligently designed to look just like my beard.
Oh, it does.
See, in fact, we actually, that was
Right on.
forethought. We thought, just joking.
At least here, that we haven't made a whole lot of progress in science over the last 90 years.
Well,
So I'm curious why you think that
let's
is.
just say the politicians
Churches!
are behind the public.
Churches all over the
I
place.
spent time in Texas, and I'm always impressed when I'm there that it doesn't. The people seem so much from close up. It's so much better than it looks from afar. In Texas this week on my way from the East Coast to the West Coast, driving my mother, in fact. So I went all the way from Little Rock, Arkansas, down through Dallas, up through Amarillo, and up and all the way into New Mexico. So.
And you know why Dr. Krause is so brilliant and amazingly because he's born, raised in a Jewish psychosis home. But see, the Jews are the majority are mentally healthy, are atheists. Their religious psychosis is basically a tradition. They don't believe the crap. They act the things, whatever, but they don't believe it because they're not. That's the reason they're the most intelligent people on the planet. Einstein the same way. I mean, amazing. And all you can see that Freud and all these great minds are all Jews. The Jews used to be the ancient merchants and citizens of the province of Judea, Palestina, of the Roman Empire. Highly intellectual, brilliant people, which still today, they're not infected with Christ psychosis. That's the reason. You have Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson, which is black. The blacks have been persecuted for thousands of years, thanks to Christ psychosis. And then you have the Jews, the so-called Christ killers. And all because it's in a book of myth, which is called the Bible, that these psychopaths accept as true. And nobody sees that. And everything is taught here. The so-called Jews have been deemed Christ killers and persecuted because of these passages in the Bible. In Matthew, that says, "Let Jesus Christ's blood be upon us and our children." There is no evidence Pilatus or all that crap existed. The brain of children is very susceptible. This is the imprinting period. Since the moment they are born, they're 1 year old, 2 year old, 3 year old, and you take these kids and you program their brains when they're young with all this crap. I mean, not that many can survive. Not many survive the onslaught of this religious psychosis dangers, like a virus, like an HIV of the brain. It is very difficult. And to fend off between fact and fiction, and they grow up and they take him to church, and their friends are all psychotic from the United States of America. The laws are infected. The teachers are infected with Christianity. Everyone is infected, and you follow the laws of the country, which are infected. You have the black are discriminated, gay is a sin, homosexuality, and you have Ben Carson imbeciles like Ben Carson and all the rest of psychopaths in United States Congresses. You have all these people in the news constantly, and the news agency are infected. I mean, look at this psychopath. It is absolutely mind-boggling. And people are seeing all this news, Fox News, with all this misinformation and false things, and people accepting all the Republican ignorant idiots, and they all cry psychotic and believing all this stuff to be true. And of course, that's the reason you start believing in ancient aliens, you believing in the Anunnaki, the Mormons, believing in the planet over there, Kolob, and all this bullshit. And then the Scientologists with the Zeno and one after the other of this that we know that there is totally stupidity, but from religion, psychosis, where you believe in angels and demons and all that crap, infected the brain, you turn, when you grow up and you reject those, you become either a Muslim psychotic, Islam, or conspiracy theory psychotic, or ancient alien psychotic, and History Channel has ancient aliens, as if they were true. And you find another program in CNN called Finding Jesus. All of these are taught as true. It's like if I have a Lord of the Rings and I'm teaching children that this is actually true. See, this is the problem. You have the brains and this is the reaction. This is the reaction. And people like that, pastors, ministers, priests in the Catholic Church, regardless how intelligent they are, but schizophrenia, mental disorders do not discriminate. You can be very intellectual, but still be psychotic and be a schizophrenic, have temporal lobe epilepsy, have catatonic thing. And this happens to this, and these people are, all the religions are like that. They are psychotic people. Because religion in itself has hypophoeba, imaginary friend or foe, irrational belief, acceptance. Which is, that's the way I call it. That's the way I define it. I don't use the term God, because what is God? And God is an hypophoeba, like Satan and sin and all that. And they have all these problems like Finding Jesus. People like this, these pastors, they should be placed in mental institutions. They have a problem with the brain. And if they continue teaching all this crap, molesting the children's brain, these are the people that should be in jail. They should be tried and put in jail. They are schizophrenic, they should be treated first. They continue with this nonsense, they are breaking the law. And you have to define the law, of course, and then you will have to change the Constitution of the United States, get rid of the DSM-5, which is created by Christians, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Neurological or Mental Disorders, called the DSM, now the DSM-5, and study the DSM-5, what it came from. Well, the original 1840s in the United States, Christianity infected the United States of America in the 1840s. Check out where it comes from. It didn't pop from the heavens. And this is the problem. It's the pink elephant in the room that sits on American scientists, atheists, and they do not see it or feel it. And it's a virus, it's an HIV virus of the brain that is going to make all of us extinct. And it's because of all the problems in the world today. All of them. Find me one religion, faith, that does not have hypophoeba, imaginary friend or foe, irrational belief, acceptance. Find me one, just one, and I'll stand corrected, and I'll beg for forgiveness because I was wrong. But no, the brain is the one that creates thinking. The neural array, nobody mentions the brain, like it doesn't exist. You talk about God and talk about demons and spirits, finding Jesus, reality is ignored. Science is ignored. None of it. Nobody even think, hey, I'm creating everything with the brain. Nobody mentions it. You don't see astrophysicists like Dr. Krauss and Dr. Kako and Neil deGrasse Tyson mentioning the brain is creating my thoughts. Science didn't come out from the sky. My religious psychosis beliefs didn't come from the sky. They were learned. I was product of coitus. Nobody says that. Coitus is sex, it's a fuck. In the vernacular. Nobody mentions this. I mean, and I expose it. I tell it like it is. 2 + 2 = 4. No any number these religious psychotic infected imbeciles say it is.
A mystery, but there are some things that we can understand.
Mystery? What mystery resurrection? It's a mystery. All the Roman emperors resurrected.
And it's helpful for
They believe they're resurrected. It's in the smoke.
times of Jesus to understand who he was and what his message was.
Father Martin.
This, the apparent beheadings of 2 men by Boko Haram militants, posted online, almost the mirror image of the beheadings ISIS has filmed and published online since the summer.
What's new? You know what all these things come from? The Crusades. Read this. Read this. This. From archaeology. Read this. October 2002. October 2002, imbeciles. Look at this. You see this? What are the stupid atheist scientists, moronic, ignorant of history? This is the problem. They don't read. And the stupid, worthless American atheists are useless. Useless. We create everything with the brain. Religion is a mental illness, psychopathy, it's a dangerous psychopathy. And Christians used to do this. Idiots. This. This. You know that? They had it in prayer books. Look at that. In crusades. The stupid crusader Christian, they burn libraries, they burn science, they burn everything. They burn homosexuals, they killed them. So ISIS is nothing new for 250 years. Look at this. 11:30. You want to see it? Go to Paris, to the Bibliothèque Nationale de Paris. The Bibliothèque Nationale of Paris has the facts right here. So you can slump you stupid ignorant heads and you brains up your ass. Here. Christian imbeciles from 1130 to like 1250. The Crusades that started the whole damn crap. Burning libraries, killing, chopping the head of people. All of the Jews, Muslims, Greek Orthodox Christians. You guys are imbeciles, don't know any history. In 2015, it's a shame and it's disgusting that in the United States of America, a country that's supposed to be intellectually intelligent, they're a bunch of idiots, psychopaths. All thanks to the Christian crap in churches. With the Congress of the United States, imbeciles, moronic, Christian, stupid asses. And I tell you what, it is the truth. And I don't go with I tell it like it is. And I just tell it like it is, and if I am angry, I say it. And I do it. I'm not a pussy like the dumb GOP, the atheist scientists that are cowards and pussies that don't tell it like it is. The problem is religion. You idiots. You are idiots. The brain is the creator of thinking. And the brain is created by coitus, which is, in a word that you understand, a fuck. The only true God is the dick. In other words, the penis of your fathers that spits sperm with DNA. And you know what DNA is? And all the molecule is a product of evolution for 4 billion years on this planet, you imbeciles. And you never slam the Christ psychotic pieces of shit religious imbecile stagnating the brain of children and causing all the problems today in the 21st century with all this crap of religion. And you scientists say nothing. Yeah, it is amazing. Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson, which is black, is a brilliant man. He doesn't spew and tell the Christians they are pieces of shit, imbecile ignoramuses in Congress. Dr. Kako doesn't say it. Dr. Krause doesn't say it. Dumb ducklings which is, and Sam Harris with the brilliant brains up the ass, don't tell it like it is, exposing these Christian pieces of shit for the psychos they are. And they're in control of Congress. Amazing. They are racist pieces of shit, always blaming the president or brilliant president Obama for everything that is going wrong. And they don't realize it's them, Christianity infected imbeciles like Bush, they're responsible for all the problems that are happening in the world today. And they don't say it, they're cowards, they don't say it. But I do. And I slap them with the facts. I slap all these imbeciles with facts. Because I want to speak about facts. And I get pissed off and I show it. Okay? That's the only way. You have to express emotions. You cannot be an idiot with the phlegmatic English with the oh well and all this with this stupid language. No, use the vernacular so people understand it. Religious beliefs are mental illness, a very dangerous psychopathy. The cancer, the HIV of the neural array of the brain. That's a fact. Everything I say has the evidence to back it up. Religion is a cancer of the brain. It's like an HIV of the brain, extremely dangerous. And it's dangerous because nobody seems to see it. So, enjoy the truth. Watch my YouTube videos. I've been doing videos since 2007. And they're all based on facts. Enjoy the truth. Pace Dios.